My people, my Biafra people, how on a day? I say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. My people, I ain't got time to do no introduction today. I just want to say I told you so. You see, when I took my time and spoke about Bianca Ojukwu, Uchechi Kanu, the wife of Nnamdi Kanu, the DOS and Ikenga, Uruagu, about how they all connived and set up Mazi Simon Ekpa in Finland as the external stakeholders. Mind you, this on a two-way front. The first one was those outside of the Biafra Republic of in Exile. The then Biafra Republic of in Exile. Those who were outside. The ones inside, I will not discuss on them because I believe our Deputy Prime Minister, Dr. Ngozi Orabueze, will deal with that situation. Before your eyes, we are seeing what is happening. You know, unfortunately, during the winter time, my body is always down because I don't like winter. So, but I've been observing. When Asade came out and said something about getting that, letter and all those things, a petition, I knew it was time for me to speak out. But just to corroborate what I said the other time, somebody is now out here who is also painting some more picture on what transpired in Finland against our Prime Minister. So please listen to this brother here. He's doing well. He's doing very well. He was able to paint a picture of the roles Bianca played, Uchechi played, and the DOS. Listen, then I'll come back and reveal something else to you all. Listen.
We didn't want to say anything. We told our PM heard about it. We told him, we started writing to him that what's going on here. Our PM refuses to talk because he said it's not his business. Anybody can work for anybody they desire to work with. But the thing came to his subconsciousness and said, let me address this issue, and told her specifically, as long as you don't interrupt what we are doing, you can decide to be one Nigeria. That is your problem. Now, Tinubu appointed her as her foreign minister.
Yes, state foreign minister, yes. That's Bianca.
When this appointment came in, we didn't know what was coming. Bianca Ojukwu, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's wife, and the DOS wrote a petition against Simon Ekpa.
Listed.
In that petition, stating that I am the former wife of the person who intended to declare Biafra or declared Biafra.
Hold it there. Yes, that's a good point. But I was the one that came with that picture, that information, because the first information you all had was Asade Dokubo talking about the DOS, Ikenga, and Nnamdi Kanu's wife. They came to him and they gave him a letter, all those things, petition, which he lost. But from my own perspective, what I was hearing from the ground was that the person that called for the meeting, the person that called all parties, was Bianca Ojukwu, allegedly. I was using that word, allegedly. So what this brother is saying is fact, because after everything, her own notes were there in the petition. She said it. Her husband, Ojukwu, was the founder. He was the one that went to war. And men died in that war. And all that stuff. But sometimes it's good to say things out so that when people start to, vindicate you, it makes sense. Let us hear this guy continue. Listen to the story of what Bianca said. Exactly what I said just 2 days ago. Because what we do here is spiritual. When we say things, What we do is spiritual. Take it back and listen.
Petition stating that I am the former wife of the person who intended to declare Biafra or declared Biafra.
Okay.
And on the declaring of the Biafran state, a lot of people died. A lot of people lost their life after the declaration of Biafra. And such should not happen again.
See that? And such should not happen again. That Biafra land is not ready to stomach such a repeat of the same mistake and the rest of them. She also said she brought with her the man who took after Uwazurike, a heir to the throne of Biafra, the wife of Nnamdi Kanu. She's here. And she said the same thing, that Nnamdi Kanu does not want any war or bloodshed in Biafra land. He has spoken about peace, and she's here to represent Nnamdi Kanu. That Simon Ekpa is on his own. He is not a follower or a disciple of Nnamdi Kanu as he claims. And Nnamdi Kanu wants no war. The third dimension was the DOS, Directorate of State, assembled by Nnamdi Kanu. They are here to speak in the petition, saying Simon Ekpa is not part of them and is not a member of IPOB. A bit of it leaked when you hear they say, oh, Simon Ekpa is not a member. He said, that was what was going on then. That was what was going on then. But some of you did not understand the dimension that Bianca Ojukwu came with, allegedly. Because now, she being the state of foreign affairs minister, it means she was speaking on behalf of Nigeria. Although they were more specific of Southeast, because they knew if they speak about Nigeria, they have no stance. So they were being clever, they were being meticulous in their approach by specifying just a section of the country called Nigeria, which is Southeast. Despite we were the owner of the Eastern region, but they came with Southeast. And those lies that a pregnant woman was killed at home and all those things they said. That was the game they came with. That was the blueprint. So Finland had to look into what they were talking about based on Southeast. So the talking point to this day is not Simon Ekpa against Nigeria. It is Simon Ekpa against Southeast. Mind you, the one they call Musa said they are having a trail of the money. The donations, there is a trail of the money. And today, people are fighting about what? Donation. Somebody feels because he is the one that deals with finance, it means they have more power than the COS. Chief of Staff is the number one staff after a president or prime minister that controls everybody else. So according to the rule of law, if you are following law, she is the one responsible. If Simon Ekpa is not here, the chief of staff is responsible to deal with all affairs. But no. People are out here attacking her, going against her, insulting her, talking about charter or no charter, talking about funding. You are not in a government, you are talking about funding. You are not in a government, you are speaking about funding. You are not in a government. Your portfolio, your office has been taken off you. You are still talking about funding. Back then it was ministers. Now we have secretaries, but people who are calling themselves ministers are still talking about funding. Biafrans, I know you guys are all wise, but it will make me feel so embarrassed that you always shouting you love Obatobie all this while. A man who said, what you don't know is bigger than you. A man who made Dr. Ngozi Orabueze his chief of staff. Simon Ekpa made Dr. Ngozi Orabueze his chief of staff. That means we must follow the judgment of Simon Ekpa. We must trust his judgment. If you say you love Simon Ekpa, you must love Dr. Ngozi Orabueze. That's how it is. When I tell you I'm a disciple of Simon Ekpa, when I say, oh, people that say they love me, don't love me. If you love me, love Simon Ekpa. I am a disciple. I'm just a servant, a boy of the dragon. That was my lingo from day one. So it will sound strange for somebody like me to now be saying, oh, no, you know, this and this. Simon Ekpa made that lady his chief of staff. It means that person is the one to handle their affairs in the absence of Simon Ekpa. That person is the one to keep an eye on all the whole officers, ministers with portfolio or without portfolio, all the whole staff in government. The chief of staff is their head. She is the one that calls the shot in the absence of Simon Ekpa. That's the role of the chief of staff. But somehow, some of you have allowed sentiments to make you go against the judgment of Simon Ekpa. Mind you, before chief of staff was dealing with the funding, General Musa said they have a trail of all the funding. It means all this month, because they didn't plan it yesterday. They planned it for so many months. They have a trail of all the fundings. Even though the way we get our funding is not bad because it's online, it's open. We do it on YouTube, social media, it's open. But for the fact, say, Musa has been saying all this while that they've been trailing those doing funding. It means the Zoo government, a part of their evidence was what they did. And guess what? Who has been dealing with funding all these months for the past 2 years? Which minister has been dealing with the funding for the past 2 years? While the Zoo called Nigeria, they've been trailing us. Biafrans, make them open their eyes. You guys should be wise. You guys should be wise. If you think Dr. Ngozi Orabueze is wrong or the wrong person or the bad one, Simon Ekpa chose her as his deputy. If I want to choose my deputy or chief of staff, I will make that judgment. And that judgment will be upon me. Whatever that person does is on me because I made that person my chief of staff or my deputy. That's how this thing works. That is how this thing works. Now, in the absence of Simon Ekpa, I don't expect the Minister of Labor to come and try to control the government. It doesn't make sense. I don't expect the Minister of Finance to step up and say they are now in control of the government. It doesn't make sense. They only control a department. Oh my God. It's just the weather. Just the weather. You know, winter. Me and winter, we are not friends for so many years. That's why we need to get back to the land of Biafra. They are heads of departments, different segments or sections of the government. But the chief of staff, she is the chief. She is the one that controls. She is the head of all the whole staff. That's the difference. All the ministers, they are staff. They are public servants. They are staff. But somebody runs them. The COS, that is their role, to run them, to be and to have an eye on everybody. Let me explain to you guys in a layman's way, because sometimes Some of you, I understand this kind of words, the semantics, these words look big or strange. Let me break it down to an elementary level, make una understand. I am the owner of a house, okay? I am the chairman of my house. I am a chief. I'm a king. I have my house. Me and my wife, we have a servant. We say, hey, make sure you take care of all the children. We have 9 children. Amaka, Ifoma, James, Johnny, all the names, Chichi, all of them, 9 children. See those 9 children as the different ministers in the house, in the government. Then the bodyguard or the servant, when they handle the house, when we are leaving, when we are going on holiday, we go tell the servant, say, oh yeah, take care of all these children. Or make sure you are now the one running this house. Make sure you take care of them. We are off for 2 weeks on holiday. When we come back, make sure all these children, they are well fed, they're dressing healthy, they're going to school, they're studying. Make sure they do exactly the way things have been doing before we leave. Now, as we leave for holiday, that servant or that bodyguard, it depends, becomes the head to run the affairs of the house, not the children. The 9 children cannot come and say, hey, I'm the head of the house. It doesn't make sense. It is the servant that we gave that delegated responsibility. That servant is like the chief of staff because she is answerable to the prime minister. She is answerable to the president. And she is the one to keep an eye on all the ministers. She is the one to keep an eye on all the ministers, all the staff. That's why they call her the chief of staff. Do you not get it now? That's how this thing works in government. Because the prime minister would not have time to be dealing with everybody one by one. So they will discuss with the chief of staff. Then he will now discuss with us. Hey, what is going on out there? What is happening there? This and okay. And that person there, I don't like what they are doing. Go and look at what they are doing, investigate and get back to me. So the role of the chief of staff is to be going around, then reporting to the prime minister. But in the absence of the prime minister, if there is no deputy, then it is the chief of staff that will take care of the affairs until the return of the prime minister. How else can I paint this thing to you guys? I've chosen to keep a cool head on this one because I gave them 3 weeks to solve this problem. Normally, things like this about to happen, misunderstanding, but 3 weeks is enough to deal with the in-house stuff. The Biafra we are trying to build, we don't want to build a cabal where somebody maintaining a department will now come and hold ransom to the country. That's like a coup. That's madness. That's madness. That is madness. That a minister from a department suddenly is addressing the whole country. On what protocol is he standing on? He or she. That's why we are saying you guys should be careful. Simon Ekpa will be back very, very soon. If we made a mistake on Dr. Ngozi Orabueze, we shall blame it on Simon Ekpa because he's the one that chose her as his chief of staff. That's how this thing works. When the government is going down, all the things, the ministers, so they go down with the prime minister. That's how this thing works. And when someone is new, now they run things. It is now their duty to run things the way they want to do it. That is why Dr. Ngozi Orabueze, she is right in the way, in her approach. She is now the captain of the ship, for crying out loud. And the first thing you do in government, when you are deputizing or whatever, the first thing you do is to reshuffle the cabinet. That's the first thing you do the first thing you do is to reshuffle the cabinet. Those that work in government, those that work in the civil service, is the same thing. When you are forming a department, once the manager leaves, a new one come, they go change things around to apply their own way, their own school of thought. Those they trust to handle affairs, and those that match the way they work. Don't tell me that you love Biafra only when you are a minister. That's the only time you will say, okay, you love Biafra. Now that they've taken that position off you, now you want to come with a civil war. That's madness. But like I said, I'm still giving them time to solve the problem. But what I'm seeing, I'm not happy about it. At my level, what I'm seeing happening there, it is so childlike, I'm not happy about it. Because I could tell the origin. This has been going on for a while until Bianca Ojukwu was appointed. Tinubu, that man Tinubu, I knew he was up to something. So now we now have names of those from the other side that did what they did. I'm giving the government the chance to do an in-house assessment. Figure out, it should not be hard. Figure out those from the internal stakeholders, the internal stakeholders that were part of this coup, part of this nonsense against Mazi Simon Ekpa and Joko. So for the last time, I'll allow this guy to run down his narrative because I really appreciate what he said. That doesn't mean I don't know what he's saying, but just listen.
This appointment came in. We didn't know what was coming. Bianca Ojukwu, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's wife, and the DOS wrote a petition against Simon Ekpa. In that petition, stating that I am the former wife of the person who intended to declare Biafra or declared Biafra. And on the declaring of the Biafran state, a lot of people died. A lot of people lost their life after the declaration of Biafra. And such should not happen again. And reminded the Finnish authority that there's been a petition against Mazi Simon Ekpa Njoku, the Prime Minister of the Biafran government in exile.
Listen.
Of inciting violence in the southeast, terrorizing the southeast. Now that is where she's coming from.
Can you get the language now? Southeast. Southeast. So this guy, his points are valid. It's about Southeast now. It's not about Nigeria again. In our own assessment, Nigeria has nothing on Simon Ekpa. So what they've done was to zero it in on Southeast to see if some few things can hang against Simon Ekpa. So they came with Bianca and the wife of Nnamdi Kanu, the DOS and the rest of them. Can you now see the game they're playing? Can you now see the game they're playing? Somehow, Asadi Dokubo just fell back because their plan was to put him there as well. So he would speak, say, okay, from the Ijo side, Simon Ekpa is the problem. But they sent in the petition and he lost it, according to him. Follow me on this journey. Follow me. Let us hear this guy's own perspective. I like the way he rose on this one. Listen.
And this man is destroying the southeast with his attacks on citizens of the southeast. Anyways, they even wrote a petition that the Finland Convention should be stopped at by every means necessary, that it is going to cause a lot of war in Nigeria.
Now, do you see why Dr. Ngozi Oruabueze had to declare Biafra very early? I knew something was happening because when she was on the podium, the way she was shaking, she was panicking. You could see the anxiety was there. She was dealing with a lot, even spirituality battles. She was touching her hair, holding her glasses. Then luckily there was a woman there. That lady that dressed in, in her uniform. And she kept on calming her. Said, calm down. You can do it. You can do it. I knew something was happening then. And I thank God because you see, in this game of chess, sometimes somebody might plan something. 2 days from now, I will knock this guy down. You see, unknown to them, say this guy was planning ahead. That thing you want him to do in 2 days' time, he or she did it in the first day. So the 29th of November is a special day. If we had waited till the 2nd of December, I swear to God and man, something would have happened in that place. So we thank God that the way things went, that our Chief of Staff and also Deputy Prime Minister was able to declare Biafra very early because they told them, from what we are hearing now, if you allow them to declare on the 2nd of December, then there will be bloodshed. It must not happen. And sometimes, even probably Finland too, they also planned their own and said, okay, guys, what we're going to do is they can come in the first day, second day, but on the 2nd of December, we're going to stop them. Let's see what they come. Let us assess them. See the first day, day 1, day 2, day 3. See how it goes. Then we shall, assess them and come with a plan B. So we must thank God, say, our Deputy Prime Minister, Dr. Ngozi Oruabueze, she gave them a sucker punch. They didn't see it coming. Nobody saw it coming. The plan was to stop the 2nd of December because in all the memos, all what they've been written, oh please, 2nd of December, don't allow it to happen, no, don't allow it to happen, no. They didn't see it coming. They probably had a plan. That okay, all those who came to the place, what we're gonna do is we'll send some, some spies to see where they are staying. Then on the first day, the second day, we just go to their hotels and hold them there. They could have done that. If not that Finland is a highly reputable country. If not, thank God that Obatobie stayed in a place like Finland. I thank God that Simon Ekpa is based in Finland. Because if it was any other country, they would have done the unthinkable. As you come for your convention, it's either they hold you at the airport, or as you're in the convention, they'll be watching the main key stakeholders go to their hotels. On that day, they look first day, second day, on the 3rd or the 2nd of December, as you are taking your shower, they come there to your hotel, they hold you and say, hello, how are you doing? We are holding you for some, for questioning. They pick the key stakeholders, take them out. We come to the hall. There is nobody to, declare that movement. They will say, she was only called for questioning. That's how they do in the Western world, though. So make we thank God. We must thank our God that Dr. Ngozi Oruabueze was so smart. She outsmarted everybody. The Nigerian government, they Finnish them, France, or anybody, all the stakeholders. She was able to outsmart them by declaring on the 29th of November. They didn't see it coming because they knew that The 2nd of December was sacrosanct. Everywhere, even when we are doing our video, we keep on telling them, on the 2nd of December, we go bring down rain. So they knew that in their own planning, they were hoping that their plan would go off on the 2nd. They didn't see the 29th. Nobody saw it coming. Even me, I was like, oh, okay. I love that. When I saw what she did, I said, this woman, man, my God. That's the biggest chess move. That's the biggest chess move. Nobody saw it coming. That's why I love women. Sometimes some of these men, you think you can play games with a woman. No, they see everything men do sometimes. They see everything, but they sometimes pretend not to see stuff. So what she did was a divine intervention. The main thing is Biafra was declared. If we had waited till the 2nd, what if all the whole stakeholders were held in their hotels? From hotels, they took them for questioning. That would have messed everything up. So what my brother is saying here is a fact. It was all about not declaring the 2nd of December. This is why, all this while, I've been waiting for the Nigerian so-called presidential spokespeople. They let them speak on Simon Ekpa. They will not speak on, because what they are doing is a local thing, Southeast against Simon Ekpa. The presidency cannot speak on it. That was why Musa was saying, oh, those in Southeast, they were happy, they were jubilating. When they heard Simon Ekpa was arrested, they were jubilating. They know it's not about Nigeria and Simon Ekpa. That case would have been thrown out. They came from an obscure angle, saying Southeast against Simon Ekpa. Your own people. Makobi Wane. Oh, God. Let's take it back. God have mercy. Listen.
On citizens of the Southeast. Anyways, they even read the petition that the Finland Convention should be stopped by every means necessary, that it is going to cause a lot of war in Nigeria. If that is being declared.
You hear that?
But thank God for Ngozi Arabueze. And now what the Finnish Finnish authority did was to invite Master Simon up and say, anyways, there's been a petition against you and all of that. Now, come and explain the petition. And this man has given his own reasons and evidences of how the Nigerian terrorist army and police are making life hard and difficult for the Igbos.
You are right, but also, let me give you guys some game. The petition was also about stopping that convention, which was why Simon Ekpa was called, invited before the convention. Few days before the convention. Biafrans, make una open una ears. Make una learn. Biafrans, make una learn. That was why few days before the convention, they had to invite him, because it was all about Southeast and stopping the convention. They had a plan A. Plan A was to invite Simon Ekpa before the convention. That way, hopefully, the convention will not hold. People will be scared. They will panic. Those that don't know their right, they will panic and run away. If we were in Nigeria and they held Simon Ekpa, we will not go to the convention in Nigeria, because we know the Nigerian police, the Nigerian military, they will come to the hall and buy everybody. So thank God, say we were in Finland and we know our right in Finland. In a first world country, we know how things roll. There is freedom of association in the first world country or the developed country. So even though they held Simon Ekpa, we were not scared. But back in the days when Abacha was held, Nadeko boys, they had to run away, because Nigeria don't follow rule of law. Remember, when Abiola was held. Nadeko, they had to run away. They had their own route to leave town. That's to show you, say, the first one was a scare tactics, bring in Simon Ekpa, then hopefully they would chicken out like cowards, they'll run away. But no, we knew our right now. We sabi our right. And we went to Finland. That one can't shock them. So the plan B was to stop that 2nd of December. That was the plan B. To stop the 2nd of December. And we thank God that Dr. Ngozi Orawueze, for the fact that Finland gave us the chance to start our event on the 29th. There is no law that says you should not wait till 2nd. No. As long as we have gathered under one voice, under one accord, under one roof, she declared it. That was something Nigerian government, Bianca or Tinubu or other stakeholders, they didn't see it coming. Even the internal stakeholders. Those, as I heard, they came with a memo. Those that came with a memo saying, oh, because Ekpa is not here, we should now have a new leader. Those that came with that memo. Those responsible for the memo. The Conflict Resolution Council, or whatever they called it, whoever suggested or brought to the table that a memo that Ekpa is not here, they should have a new leader. Well, I will not do the job for the government. You guys are in that government for a reason. So I believe you guys are capable enough to investigate and know those who are those internal snakes. Those who are in-house sabotaging the movement. Someone like me, I don't forgive nor forget. Unfortunately, Obatobie is somebody that loves to give people second chance. Second chance can be a problem. Second chance can be good. But sometimes it can be a problem. Because if you look at now, those when they attack them, most of them were given second chance. Those talking the way they are talking now, those insulting Dr. Ngozi Orawueze, most of them were given a second chance. That's why in my own principle, I have studied all the strengths and weaknesses of so many leaders around the whole world. All of them, I've studied them. And the only way to keep it safe is to have the principle of not forgiving nor forgetting. That principle will guide you throughout. One strike out. I don't forgive nor forget. Not because I'm a bad person, but I've gone through a lot. Even in this Western world, I've gone through a lot. I've taken people to court. Biafrans to court back then. Somebody will come to you, pretend like they are your friend. They come to your house. Actually, they cook them food. Next thing, they're helping you to wash your car. You say, hey, don't do that. They'll be angry with you. Whenever they come to your house, they're helping you to wash your car. That was a psychology to buy my trust. And when I trusted that guy, the guy did the unthinkable. He did the unthinkable. I lost a lot of money. I went to court. I won the case in court. But the guy told me, we are in the Western world. Worst come to worst, they will declare him bankrupt. But my money is gone. He sent my money to Nigeria. I said, look, He's already a multi-millionaire back home. It's a civil case. Somebody who was washing your car, calling you boss, just to win your trust. You know? So when I say these things, you guys might not understand where I'm coming from. I have gone through a lot in the Western world. Your own people will betray you. Your own people. They come with different schemes to betray you. Until I came with the principle that I don't forgive nor forget. It's a one-way strike. Once you mess with me, you are gone. And since then, I've been enjoying life. Since then, I've been enjoying life. So our PM didn't make no mistake when he brought some people back. He made no mistake. But I was there in those programs where Dr. Nelly and the rest of them, Nsima, Ogala, Faith Ogala, all those girls, they were there attacking Simon Ekpa. When Dr. Nelly was doing her own coup, Nelly Ofuegu was doing her own coup live on air. They were attacking Simon Ekpa, insulting Simon Ekpa. During that time, they were insulting Ifeanyi Ejiofor, and Simon Ekpa said, please, I'm in this platform. I don't want you guys to insult the barrister while I'm here, because Simon Ekpa had his own plan. But they said, no, they were insulting the man. And Simon said, okay, if you keep on insulting Ifeanyi Ejiofor, I will have to bow out. I will have to leave this platform. And when he said that, unfortunately, our brother, Biafra Unite, God have mercy. Unfortunately, he stood and said, Simon Ekpa has no right to speak to that lady that way. That the lady has the right to say whatever she wants to say. Nobody can stop her from speaking. And if Simon Ekpa wants to leave, it's up to him to leave. But he will never stop that lady from speaking. Ha! Our brother, Biafra Unite. Because of that stuff, I did not forgive him till this day. Because to me, I am a disciple of Simon Ekpa. Me and Simon Ekpa, we are one. And when I saw him speak to Simon that way, based on my principle, I did not forgive him for speaking to Simon Ekpa that way. But as you had it, over time, our Prime Minister forgave him, got him back on, to the fold. But today, we are seeing what is happening again. He's the one that came with the theory of the charter. The almighty charter. That everything must be done according to the charter. Let me fall back on that one. Let me fall back. Let us hear this guy. Then I'll call it a day. I'm not feeling fine. Let's hear this guy. I'll call it a day.
This is a woman under her watch. People are being killed in the whole of the Southeast. She didn't come out to do anything. This is a woman under her watch. There are so many checkpoints in all the whole Southeast. She didn't say a word. This is a woman under her watch.
Listen.
Her husband caused the biggest war in Nigeria that claimed almost 3.something million people's life in Nigeria. She didn't address that. This is a woman on the second day of December 2024 to Kanu jet fighters from the Nigerian terrorist army.
Listen.
Went to the Southeast and started destroying houses and properties and killing people. And this woman didn't speak about it. I am so disappointed. I am so, devastated. This is a woman.
Listen.
General Christopher Musa's boys. went and apprehended 2 people in Abia State.
Listen.
In search of unknown gunmen. They didn't see unknown gunmen. They killed these 2 people, burned them alive. How disappointed I am today. That these people can gather together, Igbos,
listen,
to destroy themselves. And we are fighting the same cause. These animals that feel that they are humans, that we thought they were humans, they did not talk about any infrastructure in the southeast. There is no good road, no good jobs, no good hospitals in the whole of the southeast, no any good investment from Nigerian government to the southeast.
Listen.
No employment opportunity. There are no seaports, no airports, no, businesses that will make our economy to boom in the southeast.
Listen.
They didn't discuss that in our assembly. What they are discussing is how to end Biafra. And this was why Ngozi Orabueze now stepped in. She had all these things because the most of our cabinet members was giving the DOS of Nigeria information about what was going on in Finland.
Hold it there. At this point, I will end it here. Again, I'm calling out on the Biafra government, the cabinet, to do their own in-house investigation and bring those out. It is time to name and shame. Because to move this thing ahead, to navigate this ship very well, it is time to name and shame. As we go for our funding tomorrow, if you notice, they as well are doing their own stuff. That's why I'm saying it is time to name and shame. Obatobie, my brother, have mercy. Obatobie, who am I? Who am I to go against the dragon? But very, very sad. Somebody like Nsema was once next to you. He was sitting next to you. He was your right-hand man. Your ace, Bunkum. He was there with you. But at the end, he betrayed you. Until this day, he's betraying you. Today, again, those you had around you, oh, Lord have mercy. They've come to destroy what you've built. Obatobie, it is fine. It is well. Not too long, you'll be out. And I'm sure you will be able to meet a effective running government once you come out. Because it's all about the government, not the finance or the departments. It's all about the government, not just one section, one department, one ministerial position. No, it's about government in a whole. I rest my case. For those that have ears, let them hear. For those that have ears, let them hear. As for me, I keep on saying it. I'm just one of those guys who normally will not come out in a movement stuff. All we do is watch from a distance. All we do, people like me, we watch from a distance. We do donate anonymously. Why? Because in the Western world, sometimes when you are doing a particular job, there are some contracts, some license. There are some things you must sign. Not to go against what you are doing. You guys might not understand it. So I'm not saying anybody should trust me or don't follow me. Or if you love me, love Simon Ekpa. If you like what I'm doing, like Simon Ekpa. That's what I've been saying, because I'm also a no-face person. Nobody sees by my face. So it will be hard for you to trust somebody without seeing their face. In fact, trust those you see their face than those you don't see their face. Although in your Bible it says, blessed are those who have not seen, but yet they believe. But in this case, I would say be careful of those who are not showing their face. Don't trust me as well. Don't trust me as well, though. I'm saying it here because I respect those that can show their face. But sometimes, now condition make the crayfish to bend. Like I said, people like me, based on the job I'm doing here in the Western world, I'm supposed to be watching you guys from a distance. But I only came out for the love I have for Obatobi. For the first time, I saw somebody in my own image and likeness. A man that looks like me, acts like me, had a reflection of me in his thoughts, his words, the way he behaves, the way he carries himself. So I went the extra mile to do what I'm doing now. But that doesn't mean that anybody who is not showing their face, do not trust that person. Because they can go into thin air. Anybody who is doing program not showing their face, do not trust that person. Because the same way they came in is the same way they will leave. I rest my case. For those that have ears, let them hear. For those that have ears, let them hear.
LendFi is a trusted app that allows people in the UK, US, and Canada to send money to countries abroad. I'm a traveler, and LendFi is one of the most essential apps I have on my phone. Even when I'm not traveling, I still use it because I send money to my friends and family abroad, and also I send money to my bank account to prepare me for my next trip. And money gets to those accounts within minutes, just like this. The LendFi app is top tier, and there are so many reasons why I love it, but here are a few. You'll always get the best rates. Hands down, LendFi has the best rates. There are 0 transfer fees, and when I mean 0, I mean nothing. LendFi is 100% secure, and to give you the boost in confidence that you need in the app, the customer service is available 24/7, so you'll get customer support any time of the year, any day. The final reason why I love LendFi is because every time I refer someone, I get a bit of cash that goes probably towards my next trip, if I'm being honest, and that could be you too. So all you need to do is download and get the app. You can get it from the Google Play Store, or you can get it from the Apple App Store, but make sure you get the app, because LendFi is fantastic.